Welcome into Brady's Breakdown, the Five Reasons Sports Network. I'm Brady Hawk. This breakdown is going to be a little bit different than usual since this one will actually be a breakdown. So let's just hop right into it. Here on this play, um, this is under 4 minutes to go and against Brooklyn. A lot of things are going to point towards the final shot. But this was a game, that led to Miami's good execution down the stretch, especially with 4 minutes to go. So here we are, 4 minutes left. Goran's bringing the ball down. Duncan comes over, slips the screen to basically allow Goran to flow into a pick and roll with Bam on the other side over here. Now Bruce Brown goes under the screen. Bam gets caught with Blake Griffin as well. Uh, Goran's, pretty notorious of just pulling up shots when the defender drops like that. So obviously, immediately he pulls into a jumper. Um, Now the key here is he misses this, but let's go back and look at Trevor Ariza here. He is doing a lot of the small things that a lot of the guys, that's something they've missed at that four position, even though we're looking at shooting, defense, different things like that. He does a lot of the small things. Usually when a ball's coming off the rim and they're going to go attack, try to get a board, usually they bolt right there, but he kind of waits and tries to time it a bit. 3 minutes left. It's a 6-point game again. Um, we're seeing Goran flow into a pick and roll where they're basically clearing out. One of the things they do late in games a lot of the time is run Goran Jimmy pick and rolls. It's something that, Jimmy, it gets him into where his strengths are when he rolls to the basket, uh, especially when a smaller guy is trailing. He's able to get up at the rim or get a foul call or things like that. But now Jimmy Butler's out. They're running the same things with Bam instead. So as you see here, they're running it. Bam, this basically makes Bam as a lob threat the only option because obviously Jimmy, he's throwing a high pass. This lets Goran basically have a much easier pass. He just lobs it up for Bam, as we see right here. He throws it down. That was basically the thing late in this game, was basically Goran running the offense, trying to get it to Bam and different things like that. That's what they're going to have to do without Jimmy Butler in most games. The next play is another one 3 minutes to go. Defense is a big part of this game. As much as we're going to look at different things offensively, like Bam and different things like that, the defense they were playing was, the part that basically won them this game. Let's go back a little bit again. Trevor Ariza guarding guards. That's, a big proponent of another reason why he's so important for them. They can stick him on any point guard. He's done it to the better point guards in the NBA. We've seen him do it to Damian Lillard, Stephen Curry, and now Kyrie Irving. So he's guarding Kyrie Irving. They're trying to basically get a switch with Duncan Robinson right here. But what you're going to want to watch is Bam. Bam is going to be waiting right there. He's predicting offense a lot better, which just shows a lot of things about his defensive IQ raising. If you see right there, again, if I go back, he kind of notices Andre Iguodala clearing to that side. And whenever Andre Iguodala is on the backside, he basically knows that he can trust him to basically take care of business on that side. So now he scoots up basically for the cutoff right here on Bruce Brown. Duncan Robinson here as well. If we go back and look at Duncan Robinson, he is very good at filling in rotations. He's not a great one-on-one defender. Teams try to hunt him down, but and something interesting about this Heat team is lately they kind of, don't flow right into their offensive sets and wait till late shot clock. Here, it's a 4-point game, 2 minutes to go. Another defensive play with Trevor Ariza guarding Kyrie Irving. Pretty similar to the last play. They're, blitzing Kyrie once again with Duncan Robinson as he comes up for the screen. Bam, once again, scoots up to that same spot with Andre Iguodala waiting on the backside. Except this time, Bam, see right now, Bam Adebayo has the smaller defender on him. That's what they're going to do. Andre Iguodala as a facilitator late in games has shown to be very good. He sees that, gives it to him on the weak side. Kyrie Irving comes over for the double, which basically means, there's one guy guarding Goran Dragic and Trevor Ariza on the opposite side. But what the most important part here, look what Goran does. Knowing that if they stay in the same spot, it's easier for a contest, it's easier for a closeout. He immediately cuts. That means Jeff Green stays. Most of the things well that they needed him to do well to kind of come back and win this game, even though Bam's looked at. He's doing a lot of things that they've missed at that 4 spot, a guy that could take a guy off the dribble. He's very good with off-ball cuts and things like that, which has been a bit surprising. And then obviously he's shooting the ball really well. Next up, we got another defensive play. Miami's down 2, under 2 minutes to go. Kyrie Irving obviously dribbling down the floor. Now, this is where they, especially another Trevor Ariza moment, which there was a lot of Trevor Ariza moments. This is why he's so useful at that 4 position next to Bam. Were not able to do, they did switch. Obviously, that's their scheme, but it wasn't trusted as much in spots like this. So now, Kyrie Irving's trying to force a switch off of Trevor Ariza, who's been, playing him very well. But it doesn't get much easier right here off this switch because now he's being guarded by Bam Adebayo. And that's the way, what they want to do as a defensive identity on this team. They want Bam to be the focal point that he can switch on and trust Trevor Ariza on the switch because now uh, they don't have a true big out there that's going to take advantage of a Trevor Ariza type. So this is where it's even more useful. So now as we see, Bam's guarding Kyrie Irving basically on an island. Kyrie does his signature behind the back step back. And if we go back one more time to look at Bam's contest, he's right there in his face to basically force a miss. These are the things Bam does. This is why he's labeled as such a great defender, even though we look at the IQ over there. His talent levels is the reason why he's such a great defender overall. Let's go into another one. 1 minute to go now, another defensive possession. Kyrie, if for listening to the broadcast right here, Mark Jones basically mentions that Ariza's guarding, Iguodala is guarding Kyrie Irving instead of Ariza. And that's a big part of this team. They have guys they can throw at star players, mostly guards that they can throw out there and trust to basically, guard them and down the stretch of a game. So here we see Iguodala guarding him. And, this is a matchup he probably saw many times in the finals in the past. He does a very good job staying with him. Here we go again. He gets him on the blow by. Usually, if somebody does that to you right there, they're going to get a good look at a three. But Andre Iguodala somehow contains himself, turns around, contests it again, forces a miss. These are the things he does. So now Goran grabs the ball off the rim. As Eric Spoelstra talked about after the game, they knew they weren't calling a timeout at this point. They wanted to kind of flow in, especially when Goran gets the ball like this and puts his head down as he does right here. He's going to the basket. I think everybody was aware he was going to the basket. Here he goes up, pretty Goran Dragic like move, ties the game up with a minute, to go, under a minute to go. So now the one play that everybody's going to look at, the final play. Before we get to that, though, I think the defensive possession before was probably just as impressive, but we're going to always look at the jump shot at the end. Here we see another one, Ariza guarding Kyrie Irving. He tries to force a switch, and it gets Bam Adebayo right here. And Bam Adebayo is absolutely ready for this jumper. It's a shot. Eric Spoelstra, another thing talked about post game. When Bam got the ball in the wing right here, he's looking right now over at the bench. He's seeing if they want to call a timeout. They gestured that they're going to go. But the one key to this final possession is that they wanted it to be the final shot. That was something they were going to make sure of. We're going to see right now Goran going to set a screen for Duncan. Duncan clears out to this corner, meaning that they don't have a congested side where they can just help. So that was a pretty smart move. But as you see right here, as I go back a little bit, Goran pops out to the perimeter right here, and Bam basically puts his hand down, saying, this is what we're seeing. This was a big game for Bam, a big moment for Bam to get that type of moment. Maybe it'll build some momentum of aggression even when they have a fully healthy roster. So thank you for watching Brady's Breakdown. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Leave a comment if whatever you want me to discuss